Imagine this. You're 16 years old. You live in a quiet neighborhood, the kind where nothing ever happens. Your parents think you're just another awkward teenager who spends too much time on the computer. But behind that glowing screen, you've just broken into the Pentagon. Not with guns, not with an army, with curiosity, courage, and a second-hand laptop. He wasn't a spy. He wasn't a soldier. He was just a kid. And then one day he vanished, fade into title. The kid who hacked the Pentagon and vanished. Chapter 1. The Boy and the Machine. It began, like many teenage obsessions, with a flicker of light in a bedroom window long past midnight. His parents thought he was gaming, or maybe just procrastinating on homework. But he was teaching himself something far stranger. To him, the computer wasn't just a machine. It was a gateway, a secret door into hidden worlds. Every click, every command line opened new questions, and he chased them with restless energy. While other kids memorized football scores, he memorized IP addresses. While they traded baseball cards, he traded code on obscure forums hidden deep in the early internet. He was curious, but curiosity in the digital age has sharp edges, and his would lead him to the most secure networks in the world. Chapter 2. First breaks. Like most hackers, he didn't begin with grand ambitions. First, it was school systems, grades, files that weren't supposed to be touched. Then local servers, firewalls that fell like dominoes once he understood how they worked. He learned quickly, faster than the adults who designed the defenses he broke. And soon curiosity wasn't enough. He needed bigger puzzles. That's when he stumbled onto networks he wasn't supposed to see. Systems belonging to the US military. Digital fortresses guarded by layers of passwords, encryption, and security teams. To a teenager, it was irresistible. Every block was a challenge. Every successful breach a victory. And before long, the Pentagon itself was no longer just an untouchable idea. It was a playground. Chapter 3. Inside the Pentagon, he slipped past barriers like water through cracks. A vulnerability here, a misconfigured server there. Each entry brought him deeper into the core of the world's most powerful military institution. Security experts would later describe his work as astonishing. Not because he destroyed or stole, because he navigated systems built to withstand entire armies of foreign hackers. He didn't brag. He didn't post trophies. He didn't leave calling cards. His intrusion was silent, careful, invisible, but the Pentagon noticed. Alarms were triggered. Files were accessed by someone who shouldn't exist. Somewhere in cyberspace, the game was over. They just didn't know who or where he was. Chapter 4. The Hunt federal agents launched an investigation. Entire teams were tasked with finding the phantom hacker. But tracing him was like chasing smoke. He used VPN before VPN was common. Proxies scattered across continents. Layer upon layer of misdirection. Even when they thought they had him, he slipped away. Inside government offices, the mood was tense. The question wasn't just who he was, but what he wanted. Was he a foreign spy, an insider, or something worse? What they didn't realize was that behind the screen wasn't a hardened criminal or an enemy agent. It was a teenager in a cluttered room, headphones on, fueled by soda and adrenaline. Chapter 5. Between genius and criminal, the debate raged. Was he a prodigy or a threat? His friends described him as quiet, almost shy. But online, he was bold, fearless, unstoppable. Some saw him as a digital Robin Hood, someone proving the flaws in the system. Others saw recklessness, because exposing those flaws could endanger lives. The truth, perhaps, lived somewhere in between. In hacking, intent matters. He hadn't stolen billions. He hadn't caused chaos, but he had proven something terrifying. That a kid with no resources could outsmart the most powerful defense system in the world. And in a post-9/11 era, that truth was more dangerous than any weapon. Chapter 6. The vanishing as the net closed in. The kid disappeared. One night, the screen went dark. The logins stopped. The traces dried up. It was as if he'd evaporated into the ether. Did he panic? Did his parents find out? Did someone knock on his door? Nobody knows. Some say he was quietly arrested, his story buried in sealed files. Others believe he was absorbed into the very agencies he once outsmarted. A few insist he staged his own disappearance, using the very skills that made him a legend. Whatever the truth, the silence only deepened the mystery. Chapter 7. A digital ghost. Years later, cybersecurity experts still whisper about him. The kid who slipped into the Pentagon like a ghost, then vanished before anyone could catch him. He left no manifesto, no claim of glory, just questions. What drives someone so young to take on the most powerful systems in the world? Was it arrogance, curiosity, or something deeper, a need to prove that even the strongest walls can crumble under the right pressure? When we think of threats to nations, we imagine armies, bombs, spies. But sometimes the greatest danger comes from the most unexpected place. Not a soldier, not a spy, a kid, alone in his room. And maybe that's what makes his story so haunting. Because if one teenager could do it, who else is out there, waiting in the dark, ready to test the limits of the digital world? Fade out with soft music, screens flickering, and the sound of a modem connecting. Some vanish into the shadows. Some leave marks on history. He did both.